Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy, the 14th Prime, and congratulations. Yes, we had a baby at 5 o'clock this morning. Not us, but we had a grandbaby. So yes, we're still here. We're going to be here for a while taking care of them, but the news must go on. So let's look at Amalgamus Prime, who is an amalgamation of many, many, many things. So after doing my research last night, after being so excited of finding these pictures and seeing all of this stuff and watching the panel, yes, Shockwave's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather does turn into a plethora of things. He is a weaponizer, so you can take him apart and rebuild him into many, many, many different things. He does turn into a spider tank. He does turn into a robot. But there's a lot more to him than meets the eye. He turns into a bunch of other things. Apparently, there's a bunch of little vehicles hidden and attached to this guy. That's what it says in the description. Now, I think, myself personally, I think that is genius, because now we have the father of all battle masters, you know what I mean? And Shockwave's great-great-great-grandfather looking at his face. The T-Cog comes out or attaches to his face. There's a lot more going on with this thing. I can't wait to see his real colors, unless these are the actual colors. I'm not necessarily sure. This is another one of those ones that I've got to have, along with Quintus and the rest. I see like the Age of the Primes was just heating up. They dropped Prima first because he was the blandest, dullest one of the entire group. But, you know, upon playing with him and looking at him, you know, you have to have the first Matrix Bear. Then we get to see the great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of all Quintessons, Quintus Prime, who turns into a giant flying squid, which looks amazing. Got to have this guy. I love the transparency. I love the tentacles. I love the green. I love the face. Look at the... Can we look at the face? With my Transformers 1 Quintessons, when I first did, there's a short on my channel. I did it. And I had the head upside down because it kind of looked cooler that way. But looking at this, it looks like they did turn it upside down and mold it the way that it's supposed. This is just crazy. The alt mode, I know a lot of people are not liking the alt mode, but look at him as a robot. I mean, if you know your Quintessons and you've got to have all of them like me, this guy, the one thing I thought they were going to do was I thought they were going to make it so that he had at least 3 other faces. Or, you know what I mean, like the original Quintessons, but whatever. That's probably coming in 2030. But this guy does look crazy. I love the squid flying spaceship, the translucent green, the arm cannon that folds into the cockpit of the plane. You couldn't ask for any more. Age of the Primes is really, 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 really heating up. This just may be one of the best all over the place lines that we've ever gotten. Next to Siege. Just kidding. I know a lot of people always get mad when I say Siege was great, but it really was. It was. But this is shaping up to be something else. Again, more looks at Amalgamus. We had a lot more pictures of him. For some reason, they had a lot of these pictures of him with all of the weapons combined on him. I wonder if, because it was rumored, and it is true, that if you collect all 13 Age of the Primes toys, they can turn into one giant, the weapons can be combined to form one giant weapon. I don't know who it's going to be for, because it obviously is not going to be for Age of Extinction Grimlock, who we found out is our 2026 Titan. Looking at this, at first I was like, I don't really need it. I didn't skip the Titans for a while. I didn't get Star Convoy because I just didn't want it. And I skipped, ever since Metroplex, but that's beyond the point. This might make me come back, but then, if y'all know me, I'm a completionist. I started collecting Revenge of the Fallen and the movie toys, Age of Extinction and all that stuff, but this really looks cool. Like, I want to see it painted. I want to see, I like the robot mode, I like the dinosaur mode, but, like I said, with me, I'm going to have to buy Age of Extinction Prime. I'm going to have to get Crosshairs. I'm going to have to get everybody else from the movie. I'm going to have to build a whole nother shelf, because why? I have a wall in my office now because I did a giveaway, and I gave away a wall worth of stuff, not just on this channel, but like the kids at church and like just random kids kids at church. But yeah, so I've got space. I got space for a whole new wall, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. I do, and I used to draw. And I thought about making like my own Transformers posters, painting them and just putting them up in my office, but I don't know. I think I could squeeze in what they say this was, 15-inch Grimlock. I think they said it was like, not 15 inches. I think it's 18 inches. I didn't see the size, but looking at the length of this thing is going to be ridiculous. The robot probably isn't going to be that tall, but looking at how he transforms, a lot of stuff is going to fold out and flip out from everywhere on this robot. That head sculpt is scary, and not in a bad way. I think it looks great. This, I thought that Triptychon was going to be the only giant dinosaur that I had, but I guess not. Now let's look at Windcharger. Now I know these are the grayscale images. They don't want us fool too much. And plus, we got to wait a whole year before we get to play with these anyway, unless you're Prime versus Prime, and he's probably got 2 of them right now. Windcharger looks crazy. Absolutely perfect to his on-screen mold or whatever, to his on-screen, how he appeared on screen. He comes with a special wind charge blast effect that will go to the chest. I love that. Absolutely love that. They're utilizing that still. And apparently in the notes, they had said that like a lot of the car folds up into the feet. So I guess we'll get to see that more as time goes on. I am really digging all of this. He just looks so clean, and like you can see like they really paid attention to the head sculpt and to every other part of this robot. This is crazy. And by the way, this video is going to be like a 3-parter because they just keep dropping more stuff and more stuff and more stuff every single day. So then, speaking of last night, we got a new Barricade coming, who is a licensed Mustang. Yeah, we got some new molds coming everywhere. First of all, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp will all be new molds, as I showed you in yesterday's video. But yeah, this is yet a new mold of the Mustang from the last night. This is also another one that's like got me going, because I had Barricade and I had Bumblebee, because that was like one of the first stop motions I did, and I got rid of them, gave them to somebody because it had just been, actually I gave them to my son before he went off to college. But yeah, I'm gonna need that back. I'm gonna need that back, or I'm gonna need this new one, because man, I would love to do that stop motion again, or some of the movies stop motions. If y'all didn't know I did stop motions, or if you're new to the channel, go on to my playlist, go to 2008. That was one of the movies. I did a scene from Dark of the Moon. I've got all kind of movie stop motions from 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, and so on and so forth. Speaking of movies, TF1, Arachnid. She looks crazy. I'm low-key mad at myself for making a custom because I didn't feel like waiting, but at the same time, I still don't feel like waiting. So I'm going to keep my custom until this comes out, and then I'll just paint her back to the way that she was. I took my black Arachnid and took the head off of RC from Prime and made my own Arachnid, and it worked out. I mean, she looks good on my TF1 shelf, but this, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely bananas. Now, then we get a look at Brawl and Blastoff. 2 other robots that we knew were coming. We knew Devastator was coming. We knew Bruticus was coming, but yeah, we finally get to look at it. And somebody in the comments has said that they didn't show Brawl's tank mode. Here you go. It's right there. So yeah, looking at Brawl, that face is perfect. The arms are perfect. I wasn't in on Devastator or Superion, only because, like I said, I like the ones that I have. I do have an oversized Bruticus, but I would not mind having a regular size one. I have a regular scale Devastator, and I love my Menasor. I do have a smaller Menasor, but this will probably be the first Age of the Primes combiner that I do actually pick up. This is just gorgeous all the way around, looking at both of these guys together. They did show Onslaught, but it was the CAD image of him. But when they do reveal him, I'll actually show you. But if you want to see it, go to TFW 2005 or Tformers and you can see the CAD drawing. I just didn't, there was, as you see, there's so much to cover. I didn't want to talk about a CAD drawing. But yeah, and then the fact that they made blast off the space shuttle instead of an airplane and everything else is just another reason to pick this guy up. Giant Decepticon symbol on the top. That brown is looking gorgeous. I can't wait to see what he looks like combined all together when they form Bruticus. Now, in other news, besides seeing all of this today, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments, do you plan on picking any of these guys up? We got Trash Heap, we got Jalopy, we got new Junkions. Like I said, go to T-Formers or TFW 2005 if you want to see these official images. I left out, I know, about 120 pictures just because I wasn't going to talk that long. This, though, like looking at these two or these three together is just absolutely stunning. It is beyond stunning and breathtaking. These toys are really going to make a killing for someone. I'm blown away. I'm really blown away because this time last year we were all somewhat depressed over the fact that we thought that maybe the toys are ending. And then to top it all off, next year's commander will be Armada Jetfire. Everybody wanted this. Everybody wanted Jetfire, and here you go. Shabay the 14th Prime.